Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to do a little Q&A. This one is about dating, but this one is for guys. Recently, we did a Q&A that had to do with dating, and afterward got a message saying, hey, that was great and all, but most of those questions were obviously from women. Can we do one for guys? And the answer is yes, and here it is. This format that we're doing right now, there's a lot of people seem to like it, so we're going to kind of refine it a little bit over the next couple of weeks, and you'll definitely see more of it, and there will be some slight changes, and there will be a little bit of extra stuff beyond just the Q&A in it. Okay, so what do we have here? Just give me a single piece of advice that you think most men my age, 21, need to know. In relationship to dating, don't make any single thing your personality. There's a habit right now where people will, and this is in particular to men, will find a hobby or something that they enjoy, which is fine, that's good. But then that becomes everything they're about. It becomes their entire personality, whether it be an ideology, a political belief, a hobby of some kind. It's no longer a hobby, it's their identity. It overwhelms their personality. I will tell you right now, I have never in my entire life met a woman who liked that, ever. So, that would be my advice. Okay, I'm a 28-year-old automotive mechanic, not a high-status job, but I make good money, not ugly. I've done the PUA scene, and that's probably why I saw your last dating video. My dating life is still a disaster. None of them knew what women want. That's my question. What do women want? For those that don't know, the PUA scene is like the forerunner to what you have on YouTube now. Basically, like, this is how you get women type of videos. The question is, what do women want? The easiest way to illustrate this is to ask your friends. Your friends. Your male friends. Get them all together and ask them what kind of woman they want. Ask them to describe their ideal woman. And when you realize that if you have 6 friends, you're going to get 7 different answers, that should be a sign. Women don't all want the same thing. That's why nobody is going to be able to tell you what women collectively want. They are individuals. I know that's not, that is probably not advice that you heard before, but if you treat them as individuals, you will definitely get further along in the dating process. What did you mean by core values? You said you don't like taking care of the horses, but it fits the core values. I don't understand. So that's a reference to the first video. And it had to do with, opposites attract, I think was the question it was based on. But how people can have different interests as long as their core values are the same. And I may not have done a good job of explaining that. So we have horses. I like to play with the horses. Like they're, as I have said before, to me, they're big dogs. And to the person who sent the message about that, no, that is not where I got the term, but that totally tracks. They're big dogs. My wife enjoys taking care of them as well. The hobby itself is not just confined to horses. The horses that are here are horses that were in some way broke or misplaced or retired or something like that. The core value at play there is doing what you can. You know, that Rule 303 type of thing. If you have the means, you have the responsibility. Yeah, I mean, I would probably not choose to have a home for wayward horses, but I understand the drive, and I can understand why it is something that is exciting to her, and it's something that she's passionate about, because that same core value of helping in a way that you can is there. That's what I mean. You have to find core values that are the same, and they don't have to be something altruistic. You know, I have a friend that is very much motivated by money. It is what it is. That's one of his core values. He grew up poor, and he's never going to be poor again. You know, his wife, very much motivated by money. Those are individual core values that, if you share them, it makes your life a whole lot easier. Because when he makes a decision that he's got to go to work for 3 months in some other city, she's supportive of it because they share that core value. That's way more important for long-term relationships than I think most people understand. The fact that you both like a certain movie or music may not be as important as sharing those core values. If you don't check her phone, how do you know if she's starting to talk to somebody else? A shoulder to cry on becomes something I'm not saying on the channel. How can you date a woman if you don't know what she's doing? This is obviously in response to me saying I found the idea of checking people's phones, somebody that you're dating, I found that weird. Okay, so you're in the dating phase. Why do you want to stop her? I mean, really think about it. If you are doing your partner relationship and the other person decides to go the other way, why do you want them around? I've never understood that. And especially when you were talking about early on in the relation, I would much rather find out that that's the type of person that you were hooked up with. Like, I would rather find that out early and let them go than try to play goalie your entire life. If that's the case, she's just not that into you. Trying to force it, it's probably not going to be great. All you're doing is setting yourself up to feed a bunch of really, really questionable behavior that over time will probably become incredibly toxic. Just let it go. Before you say, "Oh, poor you," read the whole thing. Man, this is going to be a good one. I can already tell. I'm rich. I'm above average looking. Because of that, I can get lots of dates. I'm self-made and came from nothing. I worked my rear off to be where I am. I was a scholarship kid at the rich schools and never got dates. How do I know women I'm meeting today aren't interested in me, are interested in me and not with me for the Benz, the boat, and money? My friends basically laugh when I express my feelings on this. I don't want a trophy wife. I want a good woman. The richest man I ever met in my life, and by rich, I mean rich, not like, I'm talking about absurdly rich. He drove a beat-up Ford Explorer, worth more money than most people can even fathom. And that's what he drove. Why do you have the Benz? I mean, why are you driving a flashy car? To attract people, right? I mean, more than likely to show off that status. If you don't want to have to question whether or not somebody is interested in you for that status, don't drive that car. I mean, that's the easy answer. But I'm going to go back to the core value thing, because you actually sound a lot like my friend. Like I said, he came from nothing. Just because somebody is interested in the security that comes with having a lot of money, that doesn't necessarily make them a trophy wife. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad woman. There is a habit, particularly because of things on Instagram and TikTok and social media in general. There is a very overriding theme that women fit into certain classes, and they are this stereotype. It's not true. Again, you have to address them as individuals. If you are concerned that every woman you meet is interested in you just for your money, there's probably a little bit of projection going on there. Because if you did grow up and you came from nothing, it's probably really important to you. So you might be placing the fact that it's important to you, placing that emotion on other people. I mean, I don't know. That gets into some deep psychological stuff I may not be qualified to talk about. And by may not, I'm certainly not. But that's just how I would read it. If it's a big concern, conceal how much money you have. How can you not believe in the wall? There has to be an age where women decline in value. Jeez. Cringe. Like, ow. God. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the concept of the wall, you're lucky. It also, basically, again, this is an internet thing that has taken hold. The idea that women at a certain age just, like, drop off. And apparently decline in value. That's a horrible way to phrase that. Why do I not believe in the wall? And for context, this is almost always about appearance. It's never about anything else, which, I mean, you can probably read a lot into that and the type of people that are promoting this idea based on the fact that this concept is entirely about appearance. Why do I not believe in that? Because I just watched a Selma Hayek movie. Okay. Have you seen the interview with the woman who says she would date someone making $75,000 per year? Why are so many people calling her a liar? Is $75,000 not a lot of money? Oddly enough, yeah, I did see this. I actually saw this like 2 hours ago, and I watched people. I looked at the comments. That was definitely enlightening. Basically, it's a clip of a woman who stopped in New York. I think she's from New Jersey. And the person asked, hey, would you date a person that makes $75,000 a year? And she's an attractive woman, and she's like, yes. And you can tell by the look on her face that this seems like a really weird question. The comments are very much full of people who don't believe she's telling the truth or that she's a unicorn, because women don't date poor guys. Like, that's the general tone. First, yeah, is $75K not a lot of money? Okay. Yeah, where I live, if you make $75,000 a year, you're rich. There's definitely a cost of living thing going on, that when this conversation occurs online, the cost of living in the various geographic areas, that really doesn't seem to come into play. So that's definitely part of it. The reason so many people are saying that she's lying or treating her like she is something incredibly rare is because the incredibly online scene of men who engage in these conversations, they're skewed. They fell into an information silo, and it was all reinforcing. And then the general idea is that all women are only after money, and if you don't make six figures, you're just going to be forever alone, is the general tone. And I'm seeing in these questions, I'm seeing a whole lot of little terms that come from that world, like the high value, high status. Like there's a lot of terminology that is definitely from that online community. But okay. I'm a lefty. I'm in college and want to find someone with the same core values. So I've tried to date within my groups, but always end up friend zoned. Obviously, once I feel that's the direction it's going, I stop. But help. Okay, I'm going to assume because you started with I'm a lefty, when you're saying my groups, you don't mean your friend group, you mean your activist groups. Don't do that. I know it's completely logical, but generally speaking, the women in those organizations, you're talking about campus organizations and stuff like that, don't date your comrades type of thing. If you are somebody who is very much, you have decided you want to find somebody of the exact same ideology as you, and you're looking for that now, and it's important to you, or that is one of those core values that you just have to have, when y'all do, I don't know what y'all would call it, when y'all assist groups at other campuses, or assist groups that you're not in, maybe look there, not in the groups that you are actually in. That causes just a lot of issues for those organizations, and the women who are friend zoning you, they're probably doing it for an ideological reason. They it may have absolutely nothing to do with you. In this one instance, it may have nothing to do with you. It may be like kind of an unspoken rule. I am familiar with groups that have rules like that. So maybe look at groups that are aligned that you're not in, and maybe start trying to meet them and go there. I followed the advice of manosphere YouTubers. I became a high-value male, and it worked in a way. I have way more women interested in me, and they're all attractive. They're also all shallow and dumb. What do I do now? WTF. I am shocked. I am shocked. Are you telling me that women who fell for shallow, gimmicky tricks are not necessarily women of a lot of intelligence and depth? You specifically went out of your way and used these gimmicks, these tactics, to attract this exact type of woman. I'm just saying. That should not be a surprise. If a woman is going to be attracted solely based on your posture, your language, and how you carry yourself on that level, the level that is discussed in that world, they're probably not the brightest. I mean, you are not going to get a Nobel Prize winner that way. That this should not be a surprise. Put any thought into it at all, and that should be the expected outcome. If they're going to fall for that kind of gimmicky stuff, I mean, it is what it is. My advice, forget everything that you learned, and again, engage them as individuals. As an NB, non-binary, male presenting, but certainly not drawn to those ideals, how does one approach your potential soulmate and communicate to them you don't quite fit into the norms? That's okay. So I have absolutely no experience with this particular piece of information that you're wanting to disclose. Okay. But everybody has secrets of some kind. Everybody has things that they don't really know how to tell to a potential partner or whatever. And this is going to sound super cliche, but it's second date, gently but also directly. That's when I would bring that information out. If there is, because you don't want to overwhelm somebody when you first meet them, when you first start going out. There's no reason to, because there may be other reasons that y'all don't continue to see each other. You get to the second or third time you're hanging out, you want to get that information out, because in some cases it may be something they're entitled to know. In other cases, it may be something that you don't want to waste a lot of time going out with somebody if they're going to reject you when they find out like a key piece of information. So it should be early and just honestly and directly as much as you can. And I'm sure that there are other people with questions that are similar. It doesn't necessarily have to be about something like that. But any information that you're wanting to disclose, get it out early, but not like right away. I have a friend who I know has been with half our women friends on a casual 1 or 2 time basis and stays friends with them after. I've asked him for advice on how he does it, and he just lies and says he's never been with them. I know he has. Any ideas on how he does it? He's not answering you, he's showing you. This is another thing, and yeah, I'm going to totally sound like, get off my lawn right now. But I think a lot of young men could maybe re-embrace the idea of don't kiss and tell. It's there's a whole bunch of reasons that rule existed for a really long time. If a woman in your friend group is going through a phase of some kind, and she is wanting to hang out with somebody on a very limited basis or something like that, do you think if there was a person available who would not disclose it, do you think that that person might be an attractive option? He's not answering you, but he is demonstrating what I would imagine is a key part of this. The fact that he's like, nah, it didn't happen. Okay. Can you explain how we are supposed to navigate flirting at work? It really is like that meme. If she finds you attractive, it's fine. If she doesn't, it's harassment. Okay. I have seen that meme with the really attractive guy, and and then the next block is the less attractive guy, and she calls HR on the second one when they say the exact same thing. Yeah, okay. So a big part of this is the word unwanted. Okay. Yes, there is a difference between something that is wanted, somebody that they might find attractive, and something that isn't wanted. Unwanted is a key part of this. As an example, I want you to picture the most attractive woman you have at your workplace. Somebody that you really like, you are very attracted to, and she walks up and kisses you dead on the face. And I get hired tomorrow and do the exact same thing. I'm willing to bet one of those you would have a problem with. It's the same thing. Yes. It is subjective in a lot of ways, because the unwanted part is critical to the whole conversation. The other thing that I would say is that in my entire life, I have never known anybody to get in trouble for flirting. Flirting is supposed to be subtle. And I have never seen that. What I have seen is people that are crude, or people who do not take no for an answer after it is clearly unwanted if they continue. As far as navigating this at work, I can help a whole lot with that very simply. Don't. Your coworkers are not necessarily your dating pool. That's a common theme here. I would like to kind of alter that first piece of advice after seeing the questions. That first question, just give me a single piece of advice that you think most men my age need to know. I said don't make anything your entire personality. Don't take any advice on dating or relationships from memes or any online method that is designed to be gimmicky or says this is what women want and clumps it into demographics and tries to play that game. You'll never be happy with the outcome. That's my advice. Ignore all of that. Watch some romantic comedies or something. So those are the questions. Those are the questions, which is unique in and of itself. I cannot wait to see the comments from women on this one. Okay. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.